Okay, we'll start it after 2 3 minutes. Okay, just hold a minute. Okay, wait for 2 3 minutes. Let others join. Okay, okay. It's already 5 minutes. I think we should go ahead with the sessions. With the session, let others join. They will join in between. So we'll start immediately.
Yes, sir, you can start. But as I informed yesterday's session, that our computer person will explain about the LMS portal today. But due
Yes.
to his dental treatment, he is not available today. And the next session we will arrange for that. Now I request Professor Kamleji to start today's proceedings. Over to Kamleji.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this. Okay, uh, for briefing this session. Let's start the session today because we already it's already 6 minutes. We waited for people. Okay, we'll go ahead with the new topic today, new paper today. We can say. Okay, so let's have some new information as well and some new concepts we'll learn from this. Okay, before starting this, uh, I think I should go back to the last session for having a very quick recap. Okay, I hope that you have remember. Before going to the presentation, do you remember that what we did yesterday? Of course, I will come to that point also. I will show that what part of session we had yesterday on the screen as well. So let's discuss for 5 minutes and then we'll move on to the presentation also. Do you remember anybody? So what we exactly done and what you remember from the last session, last two session or whatever, at least for last session. Okay. Let me go to this this screen share. Sorry.
Sir, yesterday we talked about the translation of Indian text in Arabic.
Yeah.
We've been discussing about different things. As far as I remember, we talk about the Arabic people came to India during that time for business purpose. And then later on, many books were translated from Sanskrit into Arabic language. We did have even, you gave the example of Panchtantra, which was translated to into Persian language.
Yes.
It was translated by someone Mukfas, a name something like that. I've forgotten the real name, or I'm pronouncing it not so clearly. And even we spoke about, you were clearing about translation is science. I remember I asked the question whether translation is an art or a science. Then you explained to us that it's better to take translation as a science. It's like a mathematic for us, because major elements of translation, when we're talking about the converting into meaning, we need to give importance to punctuation, technical issues, grammar, and so on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's great.
Excellent. Excellent.
Excellent.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Koniba would like. Yeah, please.
we also talk about the major challenges in translation, the difficulty of translating figure of speech, idioms, and sometimes word or phrases are no equivalent in target language,
Mhm.
and about the high technical translation proposal, instruction, and software application. We're also talking about that also.
Great. Great. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm happy
Only
that
this is the
yeah.
original. Well, sir, Professor, I will interfere only for a minute.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the
Please.
real counseling, because it is not a classroom teaching. What
Yes.
Professor Kamble is doing is
Yeah.
counseling. There is a difference between the classroom teaching and counseling. Counseling means in the distance education system, once the adult learners come prepared to the counseling session after going through the study material,
Yeah.
the doubt clarification will be there, because the number of sessions given to him are very few. Within that number of few sessions, nobody humanly cannot teach from A to Z. It is
Yeah.
not teaching, it is counseling. Counseling means explaining the gist and clearing your doubts. And
Yeah.
you are interacting now. It is, I am very happy. In fact, this is the wonderful session. First session, I should say. We have come across the interaction. That's
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
Please continue like this only. Over to Professor Sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for your appreciation. And I was waited for, like, let the students to make familiar with me first. So I spent 2 sessions, 3 sessions into only explaining the things. And this is, I think, I also am very happy that whatever I'm telling you, that whatever I'm delivering on this, like, in these sessions, so people are getting it, and people are remember, they are just having these ideas and concepts, they are getting it. And of course, they will be having a great use of these kind of knowledge. So let's see. Thank you so much for, sir, for your appreciation, and thank you. I'm very happy for my students that they remember last what we did. And of course, I'm not asking the previous sessions. Okay, I hope from the video, and whoever have attended, and then whoever not attended, they can watch videos again and again, and then they can get a clear knowledge about what we did in the last few sessions. Okay. But as somebody is like, two students are saying this, like these things we have done. But still, I would like to take a short recap. We will go to the presentation like what we did yesterday, and then I'll stop that presentation, and then we will continue with the today's session. Let me share my screen first, and when it is visible, please let me know. uh okay, right. Okay, session 4. I hope this is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
uh
okay.
okay. As these are the counseling sessions, please focus on the concepts. So that will be very much beneficial, very much beneficial for you all to, like, going through this all process of translation studies. Okay. Again, we will be discussing this very quickly because I have to cover a lot of things in this today's session also. So let's see. Initially, I have I explained this translation of Indian text in Arabic. Okay, how the Arabics came into contact with Indian people and how Indian people came into contact with these Arabic people. So I explained this because of the with the intention of trade, with the intention of business things, the Arabs came into contact with Indian people, different kind of through the different kind of business, and then slowly the and over a period of time many things happened, and the major part regarding the translation was taking place in these ancient periods, where the Arabic books and sorry, Indian books have been translated into Arab languages. Okay, how it was I already discussed. You can go to the last video also if it is possible. Then I have spoken about the Sanskrit to Arabic translation centers. Okay, how people got interest in this translation theory, translation studies, and actual translation work. Okay, how they have involved themselves in the translation things, translation work. And what was the major part was that in that ancient period, in the historical period, people, or some of the people, or we can say some of the scholars, or some of the translators took an initiative, and then they started numerous translation centers across the different countries. Okay, so we had this, one translation center from Spain, many other translation centers from Syria, Palermo, and some other places also. Then what we say that Naples University also has a huge contribution to the translation as a translation center, where a lot of Indian books on different knowledge like physics, chemistry, astronomy, medical, philosophy, science, whatever subjects or books, crucial books which were highly important and highly informative at that time, that translated with the help of these schools of or we can say centers of translation. Then the very importantly, I have I spoke with this Panchatantra. What is Panchatantra, and how it has been translated into firstly in Persian language and then Arabic language. Okay, and what was the name of that translated Panchatantra in Arabic? So Khalila and Dimana was the name of this particular Panchatantra, translated Panchatantra, we can say. Then again, we discussed about what is it about Panchatantra exactly, and why Arabic people wanted to translate this book. Okay, so this is the what we say that the core of translating the Indian books into the Arabic language. Okay, so what was the purpose here? Purpose of Arabic people to translate Panchatantra into their language from Sanskrit. Okay, so they wanted to know the principles of government, principles of society, principle, how Indian people, a huge country at that time, how this country is 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 under one philosophy, is under a one social principle or cultural principles. So that was fascinated to these Arabs, and then that's why they translated Panchatantra and tried in some extent to get such kind of elements in their country. Sorry. Arabic translation. Okay, some of the translation of Arabic text in Indian language. Then I have talked about this um, religious texts which were translated from Arabics to Indian languages. Okay, the first translation of Quran in this major issue we discussed. The Shah Refuddin from Delhi, he translated first Quran, and then later on, over a period of time, it has been translated into the different languages of Indian nation. Then historical document. Okay, there are so many historians we have here from Arabics, from Arab countries. See this Al-Masudi, Al-Biruni, Shahryar, Magdasi were the famous historians, writers of Arabs. Okay, please remember this. I'm not taking it much in a deeply. Travelogues, again, a part of literature, we can say, a part of prose form, where a lot of people travel to India and then they observe this all culture, society, customs, okay, the patterns of society, okay, tradition, whatever they found here as a unique thing apart from their country, as compared to their country, they have observed, they have written travelogues also. Then the last part, we discussed about literary text. Okay, the only one example I have taken here, Alif Layla's story, which was translated into Indian language, different Indian languages, and then even it was like, number of books were written on this, and number of things created later on the basis of Alif Layla's story. Okay, so literary text also. So translation from Arabic to Indian language, and Indian languages to Arabic. This was the major issue what we discussed yesterday. Let me go back to this today's, okay, today's translation and linguistics. Okay, all right. So the MTS 11, 10, 11, and 12, around 12, till the 12, we have the concepts only. Okay, what is translation? How it has been started? Okay, who started it? Who are the major people? Which were the major books translated? How this translation history, translation tradition took place from the ancient period? Everything we have seen in these few sessions. So today's session will be, today's and the next session also, these two sessions will be highly focused on the linguistics part of language. Okay, so generally, because let's see this, we discussed, somebody has asked this question about, like, what is it a science or art? So I said that it's a science. Translation is a science. Okay, so that's from that point of view also we can see this again. Here we study language first with a very scientific way. Okay, it doesn't mean that what we speak from our childhood, that is your language, and without writing, without knowing grammar, without knowing any elements of language, we can translate anything into your childhood language or whatever language you speak. Absolutely wrong. Okay, we cannot translate without knowing anything related the part of theory of translation. Understand? So apart from the historical I would say it was historical background of translation. Okay, translation tradition, translation history, translation translators from different countries in ancient period, translation or they like religious translation, types of translation, everything we covered in the last sessions, few sessions. Okay, but these sessions will be very highly important because we study basically here language. Okay, the linguistics part, and then we discuss this, like, what is the difference and what is the importance of linguistics with the translation. Okay, and what is the importance of translation by knowing this linguistics or elements of language. Okay, so I hope you will understand this, because as I am just giving the information in English, some of the people have opted for English, so I'm taking this part because linguistics comes under in different some languages. Okay, so if you are speaking some other different language like Hindi, some other language like Spanish, German, everywhere you will find the own linguistic part or language elements, we can say. Here we have these linguistics or language elements here related to the English. Okay, let's start. What is linguistics and branches of linguistics, concepts of linguistics, everything will here, everything will cover here. Okay, the very first question, why we should learn English, sorry, linguistics. Why we should learn linguistics? Because we are not studying here this, like, what, we are not studying any MA English, okay? We're not studying anything, um, uh, anything like, a different Hindi kind of any kind of subject like Hindi, your language, nothing. Then why should we study linguistics as we are the student of translation studies? Do you have any question, any answer of this question? Sharma sir, I think somebody is waiting for, like, need to admit him. Please, if you are there, please admit him.
I am here, but nobody is waiting.
Nobody's there. I got a message. Okay, all right, all right. Yes, students. Why we should learn this linguistics? Do you have any general answer? Nobody? Okay, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
Linguistics is, yeah. Somebody saying, yeah. Please.
No, sir. You can continue.
Okay. All right. So linguistics is, like, very important part when we translate the text in different languages or different language. So basically, what does it mean? Translate. We translate something. What it means? We convert language. Okay. We transfer one language to, like, we transferred a text from one language to another language. Okay. You understand this? So it means that your translation job, your translation task is highly related to language. Okay, so because of that part, we have to understand the linguistic part also of that language. It doesn't mean that you can speak, you can write, and you can, like, you can read the language, a particular language. It doesn't mean that you can have, or you can conduct a good translation on the basis of knowing your language. No. Okay, so linguistics, we have to study a certain language, a particular language, with a very scientific way. Okay, what are the words? What are the sentences? What kind of grammar that language used? Okay, what kind of elements we have there? What kind of phrasal verbs? What kind of, like, figure of speech? Okay, how the words are, like, words are, like, pronounced. Okay, so that is important here, and that teaches linguistics. Linguistics is a study of, like, scientific study of any language. Okay, understand? That's why our job is related to the language, and that's why we are learning linguistics. So we have to focus on the linguistic part also. Without linguistics, we cannot be a good translator. Understand? So that's why here we have two three sorry, sessions, the whole papers. Okay, on the only on focused with on this linguistics part. Okay, whatever the branches of linguistics are there, what are the elements are there, whatever the theories are there, and whatever the uses of these linguistic elements in the translation are there, we have to cover, or we need to remember from these sessions. Okay, so what is language here? Okay, let's see. I have written here a few definitions of language, or we can say linguistics. Okay, according to Sweet, language is the expression of the thought by phonetic words. Okay, language is the expression of thought. Okay, whatever you think, whatever idea is there in your mind, in your head, okay, in your brain. So we have to produce it. And how you are going to produce it? With the help of sounds. Okay, with the help of sound, and that becomes language. See, whatever I am teaching you, whatever I'm speaking you here, whatever idea is in my mind right now, I'm producing it with the help of sound. Okay, so that's a language. Okay, that you are getting it. Okay, whatever I'm telling you here, you are understand, you are getting there. Okay, so it means that this is a communication. and this is a language. Whatever I have thought, what kind of thought I have in my mind, I'm producing it. Then number next is, it is a collocative or is a collective form of sound symbols by which human beings exchange thought, is called language. Okay, understand? Do you believe in this? Exchanging thought is a language. Okay, with the help of some sounds and symbols, sound symbols. Okay, whatever, like, see this, how we can speak with the help of different words. And what are the words? Words are the sound symbols. Every word has a different meaning, a unique meaning, and then I'm using that word, that word has some kind of meaning, and that's why you're getting what I am trying to tell here. Okay, exchanging thought with the help of sound symbols is a language. The language is the expression of heart's feeling and thoughts through the words. Okay, again the similar in some extent. Okay, heart's feelings, whatever you feel, similarly whatever you feel, whatever you think, you can produce it, or you can convey it to the people, to the listeners, with the help of, or through the some of the words. Okay, okay, understand? So this is language. Okay, these are the very general, whatever I felt like, I felt like this is enough for telling you what is language. So that's why I'm telling this. I have put this a few definitions on my screen, so you can write it down, or you can just remember it, no problem. But you may have different definitions of language in your study material as well. Okay, if you are searching on Google, if you're using Google, finding information, so you may have different definitions in the Google also regarding language and linguistics. Okay, I hope you will understand this. If you like, if you want to follow that study material, absolutely fine, you can follow some of the definitions from that material also. But the purpose is that, intention is that you should remember some, or at least two three one two definitions of language, that you will be able to write your answers in a perfect manner in the examination. Okay, so this was about language. Then the characteristics of language, we are here now. Characteristics, do we believe that language also can have some kind of characteristics? Yes, some kind of characteristics also have. Okay, we can study this. Okay, understand this, what is language, and then move on to the this characters of language. Very first, arbitrariness. What does it means? Logicless. Okay, there is no logic for this. Okay, how is it possible? Let's see, I have written here one line. Language is a logicless. Any word and sentence is not naturally created, but it has imposed by the society. For example, you can take any example of, like, I have written here tree. You can take glass. You can take, like, school, food, whatever word comes into in your speaking, in your language, these all words are logicless. Why should we, who told you that you should use that, like, whatever the green leaves are there, we should call it tree? Who told you that? Automatically the atmosphere of society imposed that knowledge on the people, and then people followed that knowledge, followed that concept from the generations. Understand? The, the first characteristics of language is arbitrariness. Language is arbitrary. Language is logicless. We cannot say why that word has this particular meaning. No, because all the words are coming from the generations to generations, generations to generation. Okay, take the example of, like, any word, cat. Okay, any word, light. Okay, window, door. What, any word, is there anything that we should work, is there anything, like, we have a particular book, or we have some kind of certain rules and regulations that we should use this on these, only these particular words only to this? Okay, we should not say tree, we should say some other things to the tree. No, there is no answer for this question, why that word is for that thing. Okay, so that's why we can say it's a logicless. Okay, number two, creativity. Language has a creativity. Do you believe? Yes, of course. Language has ability to create new words by using suffixes, prefixes, etc. Okay, I have given the examples of suffixes, prefixes, but you can see that every generation creates different creativity in the language, and then they follow for the further generation. Do you remember? Sorry, do you believe, or you can just imagine? See, what language we speak right now was the same language 100 years ago of in your country, whatever language. For example, suppose I'm speaking here Hindi. Okay, my language is Hindi. Somebody's language, like some of the people from South Africa or some African region, some of the people's language is Arabic. Okay, some of the people, like whatever language you have, can you do you believe that the same language was there 100 years ago? No. Many updations have taken place in the language also. Many new words added, many different sentences added, many like a thousand of vocabulary, the words we can say added into the into the language, and then language has changed over a period of time. You may see that if you observe your history, or you can just visit some sorry read some of the books of language history. You will believe, you will come to know that language has a lot of creativity. Whatever language, the same language I'm talking about. Okay, so for example, Hindi language was is completely different what we use right now and what was there 100 and 200 years ago. Okay, whatever language, the form of language has changed. Updation has been taken place into the in the language. How? Because of some of the new creativity. Okay, this is one part of the creativity of language. The second thing, that lot of creative people, like for example authors, poets, okay, writers, okay, they also use some creative words in their writing. Okay, the sentences, the words, okay, the phrases, the part of grammar, they use in a very very creative way. Okay, if you observe some of the plays by Shakespeare, you will understand, see how the language has changed over a period of time. See the words like what we have, the similar words in the history. Most of the Shakespeare's plays use the word thou, 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 thine. See, the meaning of these words is the modern word, meaning of this word is you. Instead of using you, most of the most of the plays you can see Shakespeare has used the word thou, thou, thine, or whatever words like this. Why? Because he felt at that time it is a creativity. I'm giving some of the new words to the world, and that's why he has used those words, and also he made people to use in their writing. Over a period of time, that language has went away. Okay, and then some of the new words like why were you are, these words have taken place of the old words. Okay, so creativity also can be seen in the language. For example, you can see what language teacher speaks, okay, what language student use. That language will be completely different from the writers, okay, the literary persons who write novels, who write poems, who write fictions or whatever plays and whatever things. Okay, so creativity also one of the best characteristics of language. Then imitation. Okay, imitation, language is learned by the imitation only. Any language can be learned by imitation. Okay, imitation is copying somebody. Okay, what does it mean? Copying something. Okay, just I am speaking something, what kind of accent I'm using, so my students will follow the same accent, or maybe I can follow my teacher's accent, how my teacher, like, is speaking English language or whatever language they have. Okay, so imitation is the best way to learn any language in the world. That's why it has been said that language is learned by the imitation only. Okay, of course you can learn with some of the different ways, but the major part of imitation will be there. If you understand, if you use the copy, if you use this, like, the expressions how other people are using, and that means the imitation that you can learn any language. Now let me tell you one of best example of your language. Now, whatever language you speak in your country, okay, whatever language you speak your country, that language is your mother tongue. Now tell me how you have learned that language. Did you go to any classes to learn your mother tongue, or did you study some of the books, any book, or any online material you have been gone through, something like, tell me how you have learned your mother tongue. Do you have any answer? Nobody? Okay, see, the only thing
Yeah,
we fall, yeah.
yeah. About me,
Yeah.
I learned my mother tongue. We like you say imitation only.
Ah,
Yeah, of course.
okay. So similarly that how we study, how we learn. Now see this, our mother tongue we speak very well. There is no doubt we can speak in a very like, in a fluent way. Okay, with a very fluency. But how we learn? We listened a lot, and we imitate. How we imitated, like how our parents were doing a particular action. Okay, how our brothers, elder brothers, okay, family members were doing some kind of action, and then they we copied that action, we imitate that action, and then we learned our language, mother tongue. And it takes long time to it took, like, everybody takes long time to learn the language in the um, childhood days. Okay, around 18 months. Okay, one and a half year, we can say, we spent on only listening and imitating people of our family, and then we can like, anybody can study, sorry, we can speak language in a very smooth way. So imitation is a best characteristics of language, because with the help of imitation we speak different languages in a better way. Okay, all right. Changeful and variable. This is characteristics, as I told you. There's example just earlier. Language changes after certain period of time, or according to speakers' convenience. Language changes. Okay, as I told you that 100 years ago or 200 years ago, was the language same? No. The updation, the changeful, the changes of in the languages taken place. Okay, of course, obviously, you can observe how language were like, people were using in the ancient era the same language what you speak right now. Okay, and how that language you speak right now. So you may find a particular difference, a different difference between these two languages. Language is the same, but the way of using words, way of using sentences will be completely different. So the language is not static; it's dynamical, or it's a dynamic thing that over a period of time, or a period of some kind of years. Okay, that language changes. Okay, now what language you speak is completely different than the history, in the ancient period, what language your parents, sorry, your ancestors were using. Okay, so these four, just I have written these four characteristics of language. You may find some others also in your study material. Okay, components of language. Okay, or compounds of language, or components of language, you can say. uh, what are the components of language? These components mean that the language is uh, made up of from these components, these elements, and then we can call it language. Okay, without these three we cannot call it is a language. Okay, which are the components? See, number one, sound. Okay, sound we have. Okay, so see this, I'm whatever I'm talking about, I'm using number of words, number of sentences, and with the help of sound I'm delivering to you to understand this. Okay, so first elements or first component of now language is sound. Sound and phonemes are the basic elements of language. Okay, sounds. See, the simple sounds are phonemes, one word alphabets. We can see a, b, c, d, p, t, d, k, g. These all are sounds. Okay, these are basic sounds, and with this, combining these all basic sounds, we can create one word. Okay, we can create one word, a meaningful word, we can say. So the second component is a word. Second major element of language is a word. It is considered as the least meaningful unit of language. Okay, from the phonemes. What is phoneme? A single alphabet, a single sound. We cannot break it. Like, for example, p. Okay, for example, b. Okay, words, the single word, like, a very the small meaningful unit of language, we can say. Like, for example, put. How, what we do in put? We combine three sounds: p, a, t. Okay, pu, o, t, p, u, t. Like put, three sounds are there. Okay, bat, cat, three sounds are there. Okay, maybe many more sounds could be there in the one word. Okay, so from the sound, a little sound, small sounds, we create one word. Okay, and one word is the another component, useful and important component of language. Then sentence. What is sentence? Combining sounds can create words, and combining words can create sentences. Okay, combination of words and phrases make the sentence. Sentence is a largest unit of grammatical description. Understand? Sentence, these are the basic components of any language. Okay, you know it already, but still I'm taking it again. Sound, words, and sentences, because you should be ready. You should be ready with your answers if any question is coming in your examination, like, what to write about the components of language. Now, what are those? Which are the examples? You should understand from this. Okay, sound, word, and sentence are the basic components of language. Any language, not only English, not only your language, or not only Hindi language. Understand? Okay, sound, words, and sentences, these are the basic things in the language. Then we'll move on to the emergence of language, how the language has emerged. Okay, how the language has been, like, like, came into the focus. Okay, who started the language? What is the theory of language? Who created language first? Okay, there are number of rumors, there are number of concepts, there are number of ideas related to the emergence of language, how the language has emerged in the history. Understand? See, there are some theories about the language emergence. Okay, number one, religious theory. What is religious theory? There are numerous consideration on language. Okay, there are numerous consideration on language. Where? In the religious book. Okay, see the next line. Hindu ideology says human language is the sound of Lord Shiva's Damru. Okay, Damru is the instrument. You may not understand this, but the Lord Shiva is one of the gods from India, Indian culture, Indian Hindu religion, and Damru is the instrument, a small instrument which is played by the Lord Shiva. Okay, so people consider that the language of people has has come from Lord Shiva's this instrument. When the Lord Shiva plays this instrument named Damru, then number of words came into the world, and that words, that sounds people use, and that become the language, and that was the initiation of language. That was the beginning of language. See the religious theory. Also you may find the similar thing in the Bible, also in some of the other holy books also. Bible also says that language is like, the like whatever language we speak, which is coming, which has come from Adam. Okay, in the Bible we have some of the references how the language of the world has emerged. So Bible also says the same thing, that the God has created language through Adam. Okay, and that whatever we are using it as a language, it was the gift from Adam. Okay, so religious, different theories of religious, theory of emergence of language we have here. In your study material also you will be finding lot of references, okay, related to this. Okay, so religious theory what tells it tells the language is emerged from God, emerged by God, lords of different kind of religions. Understand? Every religion, every holy book claims that that language or that particular language from that particular culture has been created or has made by the God only. This is one. Okay, this one theory. Then the number two theory of imitation theory, we can say humans have been imitated the various sounds of in the surroundings. Okay, and humans developed their language. Sorry. Okay, what does it mean? Initially, in the ancient period, when people started speaking, people started communicating with each other. At that time, people imitate some of these sounds. Okay, let me tell you one example. You may also familiar with this. Let's see if you are familiar, then it will very helpful to understand this part. See, imitation imitation from birds, imitation from some of the animals. Okay, we can say at the beginning people or human have imitated some of these sounds. Okay, let me tell you this example. In the ancient period people used to speak with the help of only sounds. Okay, if they want to call their companions in the jungle, in the society, they used to produce some kind of sounds. Okay, you may have seen some of the movies, some of the videos, like how the wild people, how the ancient people, or maybe how the people who lives in jungles, forest, they use different kinds of sounds to communicate. Okay, and then different sounds they imitated, okay, with each other by some of the companions in the society, and then they created some of the meanings from different sounds. Okay, that imitation theory comes from this. Okay, so what people say, some people say that it's a theory of imitation. People or humans have been imitated some of the sounds, some of the voices in the surroundings, in their surroundings, and then they created some of the meanings of a particular sounds. That is one theory. Principle principal impulse, what does it means? Human used natural sounds to express the emotions. The sounds gradually becomes the language. As I told you that the sounds from surroundings, they used for express different emotions. Okay, for example, see that the crying, the emotions or the action of crying, that expresses some kind of sadness, some kind of the bad things. Okay, who told you to cry? This crying means some kind a particular sadness. Nobody said that. So people used that, humans used that, the principle of sounds. Okay, the sounds, okay, different kind of sounds, and then they express some kind of emotions from that sound, and that gradually became the language of human. Crying, like laughing, okay, smiling, okay. These are the expressions, okay, with different kind with the use of with the help of sounds that we can say became the language later on over a period of time. Then the theory of music. Okay, there's another theory of music regarding this how language has emerged. Okay, the theory of music. Generally, this is it is said that it is believed that speech organs produce sounds in the free time. Okay, in the free time. Okay, some of the organs like whatever speech organs we have in our like in our body. Okay, so that creates some kind of sounds. These sounds becomes the meaningful words later. Okay, generally what is mean this in their free time people like people used to have some kind of sounds. Okay, they used to create, they used to produce some of these sounds, okay, as a kind of music. And then that sounds over a period of time after many years, one small sounds have been received, have been understood as a particular meaning. Okay, so whatever the speech organ, whatever the sound created by different speech organs, that also became the language, or became the small words, or became the some of the expressions, became the some of the meaningful words we can say. Understand? So how this language has emerged, these three theories we have, the crucial theories we have here. You may understand this, or you may have a different idea also in from your study material, or somebody sorry, some from some other books also. Okay, so these are the basic things how the language has been considered, like the theories of language has been considered, have been considered as a the emergence of language we can say. Understood? I hope this you are getting it. Okay, let's talk about your language. Okay, uh, okay. Do you know the sounds of your language? Whatever the sounds, because in English we have like consonants, vowels, and these the diphthongs. Okay, do you people have any other different kind of like sounds you like? Whatever the sounds you have, how many vowels you have, how many consonants we have. Okay, only you can understand the concept of translation, or you will be good translator if you have good knowledge about source language and target language as well. So can you tell me about these things, like what kind of vowels, how many vowels you have your language, in your language? Koniba, Kiraga, Mukhtar Goni, how many sounds, how many vowels you have, consonants you have in your language? Nobody? Nobody there? Okay, okay, let's see. Let's go to our continue. Uh,
Sir,
yeah,
me
yes, sir.
in my mother tongue. You talking about mother tongue or South language?
Yeah. Koniba, right? Is this Koniba, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Koniba, how many sounds you have in your language? Like like English, we have the five vowels and then rest of the consonants, like A, E, I, O, U, five vowels, and then consonants we
Yes.
have. So how
Uh
many
huh.
do you have in your language?
In my language, I have 8 vowels.
Eight vowels. Okay.
8 vowels.
Okay. How many consonants are there?
20 because my mother tongue is 28 alphabet.
Ah, all right.
20 consonants and 8 vowels.
Okay. Okay. See, why I'm asking this question, because you should have good knowledge about the source language and target language. Okay. See, since you are studying like you have a good command over your own language, it doesn't mean that only it is enough for to be a translator. Okay. Whatever languages you are trying to like translating your task, that language also you should about that language you should know. Okay, whatever the sounds, whatever things. This is a theoretical part, but at least you should have a good idea about your target language, whatever language you are translating in. Okay, so these are the basic things about the theory of emergence of language, we can say. All right, let's see. You also have a different kind of theory in your mind, in your reading. Okay, you may find or you may have a different idea how language have been emerged, but very basically I have put here 4 points where people where humans, or we can say religions, claim about this language. Okay, how the language have been emerged differently in your language, your own language. You can see, you can study, like how your own language have been emerged, like from history. Okay, in the ancient period, how it was there, how people used to use that language particularly, and how it has been created to use for the human beings. Okay, after the emergence of language, fields of languages. Okay, fields of language, it is not that much difficult part because language is everywhere. Okay, but the way of using this language, this particular language, is completely different than each sector. Getting my point? Fields of language. Okay, so language is everywhere. Language is in the art. Okay, language is in the politics, language is in the education, language is in the business, language is in the society, language is in the culture, tradition. Every each and every sector of this universe is connected with language. I hope this is clear. Okay, but the point is that every sector has a different level of using language. It doesn't mean that what I speak English, what kind of English I speak here in India, the same language is there in everywhere. Okay, the same English can be the same English is using in the society, same English is using in the educational field, in the science field, in the business field. Okay, see, we are doing the translation course, so we have to understand these basic things about the language. Okay, the form of language we have to understand. Whatever English you speak in your country is completely different than what the English country's language is there in the world. Okay, whatever language you speak at your home, that is completely different. Your language, your own language, is completely different what you read in the newspapers. Okay, understand my point? Whatever language you speak in your village with your people, okay, that will be completely different what you see in the news, or in the what you see in the on your TV. Okay, see the language of books, see the language of your own language, book, the newspaper, and on the news on the televisions. See, the same language. Okay, but the way of speaking differently, way of writing differently in the newspapers. Okay, way of speaking in a way of speaking differently in the day to day life. These are the varieties of language you should understand as a student of translation studies. Okay, understand? Let's see. Society. Number one, every person learns language from society. That is absolutely correct. Humans show language behavior in the society. Okay, language behavior. What is language behavior? Different a particular language is using in that particular circumstances. Okay, that is it's a behavior. Okay, now in Indian society we speak Hindi. Now, what we speak with other people, it's completely different than what I speak on my personal level with my family members, with my friends, close friends, okay, or with myself. Okay, but while speaking with you, with the society people, with the people who are lives together and in the in the neighborhood. Okay, so that is completely different. Okay, so it's a language behavior. We have to show a particular language when you are speaking in the society, when you are shopping, when you are visiting some places, when you're going in the market. Okay, like wherever you are going in out in the society, the language behavior should be different, or it is be different. Every person follows that. Words like food, drink, family, relations, etc. can be studied only with the help of society. Okay, different kind of foods, names of the food, drinks, family relations, different things we can study from society, because society teach you how to use a particular language. See, nobody, no, nothing is there. A particular book, okay, like we are now, a baby is 2 years old, so give that baby a book that baby can understand, baby can learn the social language. Okay, whatever language, whatever mother tongue. No, society teach you indirectly. Okay, so from the society we have to learn, or we learn language. So what language we use in the society is completely different than the other forms of language. Number two, educational. The language used in the education is completely different. Okay, all right, it's a kind of more formal, in the more very formal way. See, whatever happens to you, if you're writing an application to your teacher, if you're writing an application to your school, for whatever happened to you, or maybe you need a holiday, need a off. Okay, then what kind of language you will use there? See, you will write like, dear sir, respected sir, I have this work, in a very formal way. You will use very formal sentences, very simple sentences, which shows your politeness to your teacher. Understand? Language completely different in the field of education. Okay, so you request here, dear sir, respected sir, I would like to make a request. I need 2 days holiday or 2 days leave from the school, because I need to go I need to visit some of the, like whatever function, or you need to travel somewhere for 2 days in, it's emergency. See, I would like to request you. See the sentence, completely different. But at your home, can you use this sentence with your mother when you are hungry? Can you say that, respected mother, would you like to give me some kind of food because I feel very hungry? Okay, will you be able to use it? No, you will not use it. If still you are using it, what kind of reply you will get from your mother? Mother will feel that, oh, what kind of language he is using in the home? How can he request? Nobody can request. Okay, nobody requests. Okay, but the language we use in the family, in the society, in the educational field is completely different with each other. Okay, so in the education field we can learn many languages. Okay, because it's a formal way of language. Then science. In the science also, science experts only can understand this language, scientific language. Okay, so this language will be different from education, from society, from your personal use. Understand? Science language or scientific language is different kind of words, technical words, scientific words are there, will be there. Okay, so they will not write like in a simple language, time. They will use some kind of substitute word which is in this science, to convey better understanding, better meaning from their communication. So science language, will always see that there will be, or there are number of different words which are related to the science, which are related to the scientific technology things, or whatever. Okay, so language is different. Scientific language is different. See, for example, if you are reading one book which is written on some kind of machine, some kind of technology, a particular kind of technology. Okay, and similarly, you are reading, you have another book which is a novel, a fiction. Okay, from literature. See, you can see the differences. What kind of language difference we can see? Scientific language, science language will be completely different from the other languages, other fields of languages. Okay, Then the business. Let me tell you this. The language of science subjects like physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, astronomy, medicines, philosophy, whatever subjects you have, the language will be differently used in that particular field or particular subject. Okay. In the business, similarly, every business uses its own language. Okay. For example, doctor. You're a doctor, what kind of language doctor uses? Okay, you will see when you talk to your one any doctor. If you have language of doctor, lawyer, baker, retailer or businessman, or whatever, like the teacher. Okay, social media experts or whatever. Now we have a lot of businesses. Okay, and in those businesses they have a different kind of language. Okay. Let me tell you one of good example from the language of lawyer. Okay, see, this is what they write in that. They write some kind of argument. Okay, argument between two people or two parties. Okay, but the way of writing their own language in a very like what is it, judicially manner. Okay, a lot of words will be from the judiciary dictionary, we can say. Okay, the words related to the crime, like words related to the law, rules, regulations, law and order, everything will be like that. Okay, so the way of expressing an event of an incident, we can say, will be differently communicated in the language of lawyer, through the languages of uh, language of lawyers. Okay, similarly doctors also, somebody is a doctor can use he use different language than the other languages what we use in our definitely doctors use this English language, but their English and English of a teacher, or English of one of businessman will be different. Three of these people will be differently speaking the same language. The the um, the selection of word, selection of sentences, selection of language style, we can say, will be completely different. That's why these all fields are very much important. Okay, because of this these all fields, language is used by these people, by these sectors, by these fields, we can say, in a very different manner. First of all, you have to understand, because why? Every time, if you are a good translator, nobody will give you the same task of translation. For example, you will be only translating novels from last 20 years, 15 years, or whatever years, for long time. It will not happen. As a translator, you will get an opportunity, or you will get several opportunities to translate some scientific books, some of the business reports, some of the educational reports or educational books. Okay, some of the literary books, technological books, technological information. Many things you will do in your future as a translator. That's why you have to understand the fields, different fields. If you are translating a literature, a literary book, so you should understand what kind of language they will use to translate, what kind of language you should use in the translation. Okay, getting my point here? I'm just emphasizing this, I'm just highlighting this. You should understand the fields of language. If you understand the fields of language, it means that you are understanding the varieties of languages. Then your translation will be perfect. Okay, it doesn't mean that now what we do generally, whatever translation we have, we can translate a particular text with Google Translate. Okay, Google translation, online. Okay, or maybe you may have different softwares and different websites to translate. You will translate it, but to give a particular or certain emotions, certain meaning, okay, a certain concrete or authentic thing in the translation, then you have to understand these sectors and fields of languages, and then you will be able to understand how to translate into a in a particular direction or in a particular book in a particular language. Understand? Let's see, the similar part is here on the screen. Language registers. I hope that I will give some times to question answer also. I'm not asking in between anything. I hope you all are listening to me carefully because I will ask this again. Okay, registers, language registers. Now, what is it? Language registers. This part is very much important as a translator. Okay, as a translator for you. Okay, it doesn't mean that I have seen thousands of translators, hundred of translators. Okay, they translate number of books, variety of books. Okay, one translator can translate, or I have many examples. I have seen some of the people, number of people who translated like science book also, okay, scientific language also, the literary language also, and some of the educational language, business reports also. One person translated in the different fields, and for that reason you have to understand this point. Okay, the fields of languages and register of language, or language register we can say. Understand? Okay, varieties of languages or language which corresponds to different situations, different different speakers and listeners or readers and writers, and so on. Okay, now registers. As I have discussed with this the previous slide, like is different fields we have about the language. So similarly, we have registers. Now, what is register? First, we have to understand. Register is the variety of words which is used in a different a different profession, different sectors, different fields. The particular word is only used in that particular field. That is a register. Okay, so that register is a variety. Understand? So let's see what kind of registers we have. Advertisement register. Okay, now in the field of advertisement, if you're a translator in the field of advertisement, then you should know the advertisement register. Okay, now what I mean here, advertisement register, advertisement words, advertisement vocabulary, the all words related to the advertisement. Okay, language in the advertisement is used in a creative manner and attractive manner. Okay, you may have seen a lot of advertisement on the road, on the streets, okay, or on in the newspapers, on TV, also television. Okay, how these people attract people to people, they attract the audience, okay, with the help of creative manner, creative language. Okay, they write something attractive. Okay, for example, sentences are like they write some short sentences, or maybe they create some kind of rhymes, rhythms in the language, in the sentence, that people should read it again and again, and people should love this, and people should like that. Okay, it creates some kind of emotions on people. Now, take the example of "I'm loving it." Now, what is this line? Did you see this line anywhere in the advertisement? Okay, no, I'm loving it. See, the sentence is grammatically wrong, okay, sorry, grammatically correct, but we cannot use the verb love. Okay, the abstract, well, like whatever the word we have, like this, we have some irregular and regular verbs. So we have some regulars, rules and regulations to using how to use the verbs, different kind of words, how to use irregular verbs, regular verbs, and everything. Okay, so people use advertisement, people or people who works in the advertisement business, they use different language. I'm loving it. You may have seen this sentence on the McDonald. Okay, I'm loving it. Why? They have just made this loving, the word loving, to attract people. You may have definitely number of examples where you can see different kind of languages are used in the different um, for the different advertisement. But here I'm giving this only example how people create some kind of attractive language or attractive sentences. But let's come back to this advertisement register. Okay, advertisement register, people use some of the words. Which words? Which words? They can get from the basic language, but they can create something in a very innovative way. Okay, some they will combine two words together. Okay, it's like it's a brunch place. Brunch place, the word brunch, it's creatively made together, breakfast and lunch, brunch. Okay, you may have see this, like you may have see this in this on in number of restaurant and in the hotels, in the lodges. Okay, so best place for brunch. Now what does it mean? They created some kind of innovation in this brunch, breakfast and lunch, they made it together. Then people will attract, what is it, brunch? What is this brunch? Okay, and then people, they will come to know it is about breakfast and lunch. Understand? So advertisement industry, they use different words to attract people, and whatever words come into the advertisement, these are, that is register, advertisement register. Understand? The next one is market register. Market register, see, in the particular business or particular market, we have different words. Now particular words, like see this, to convey the market prices, loss, profits, etc. Specific vocabulary is used in the trades, in the market, in the business. See this, share market, trading. Okay, business, merchants, like see this, all the words which comes similar words, these words will be completely different than the regular language. When we read these words like price, losses, benefits, profit, okay, like shares, okay, trading, the inflation, okay. So whatever the words come like this, when we read this in the newspaper, we see this on the television. So we believe that the all words are differently used only while talking about market, while talking about business, while talking about some of the tradings. Understand? So these are the words which comes from market register. Okay, understand? For I'll make you more simplify this with this example of word profit. Now the word profit is what? It's a benefit, the similar word for benefit, but in a very general way we use what benefit of doing this course. It's a very general way I'm asking you what benefits we have for by doing this course. Okay, benefit, the similar word is there, benefit and profit, but we use benefit instead of using profit in this particular sentence because it's in a very general language or regular language. But in the if you're using the word benefit in the business, then it little, it cannot make that kind of impression or effect on the people. When you say profit, then you will come to know, okay, this is about business. Okay, then the word profit is more important, impactful in the market. Understand? So words like in a very regular language and in a very different language also used, but we need to understand what kind of words we can use in a particular kind of translation. Understand? Then we have journalism register. Okay, language of newspaper, articles in the newspaper, okay, articles in the magazines and reports are made attractively. Did you see? Maybe sometimes grammar, they don't bother about grammar. They don't bother about any language rules. Most of the time you may see a different kind of attractive headlines on the newspaper's front page. Breaking news, something happened. Okay, they sometimes they forget about the all rules and regulation of language. Why? Because they want to attract people. they want to make the people readers to read their news. Okay, so their language will be different. Okay, breaker the grammar rules to attract people or to decorate the event. If you want to tell something, if you want to make people to read, if you want to make people to understand, to know something new, something innovative which is happening in the world, then they will write in a very decorative way to attract people. This is one part from journalism register. But again, the journalism register, you will have, I'm not giving you examples, some of the examples, okay, but you will understand how the language is used in the newspaper. Okay, the grammar is used in the newspaper, articles, magazines. Okay, understand? So that is completely different than the regular language. The last part for this, office register. Office register. Now, what is office language is, what is it? Office language is more different than the regular language. Example, any letter, application, report, information from that office. You can see. Okay. Maybe this may happen in your, this may, like, occur in your country as well. Whatever your country's language, national language, which is being used in the since many years, as a national language. Okay, see that language. If you see any kind of a particular kind of government, a paper by the government, or a report by the government, or maybe some of the different letters, rules, regulations, or something, report or whatever from government side, in the official language, that language will be completely different. Okay, and sometimes that language is difficult to understand. Okay, because there is a particular way of using office language only. Okay, maybe you may find a lot of difference in your speaking, the same language I'm talking about, in your speaking, and in the same language in the office documents. You might have seen this example. What you speak in your language, your mother tongue. Okay, what is your, whatever your national language. If you're buying some kind of property, okay, you need to make a property papers. If you're buying something, like, something which is as a property, okay, a car, home, a place, okay, a land, okay, a business, an industry, whatever you are buying, you need to make papers for that, a government paper. Now see, you may see there the language of buying and selling which is used in that document at the time of buying and selling. You will feel that will be completely different what you speak with your people in your country. See, that language is your national language. That language is you speak every day with your people. But the form of language, what you speak in your society and family, will be different in the offices of the government or government offices. Okay, the selection of words and sentences will be completely different, or maybe the words, the sentences will be uh, um, will not be from the day-to-day language or the regular language. Something they will be having something different. Understand? Then the last part from this register, literature register. Okay, here we have the language in a very more, or in a more creative way. Okay, creativity can be seen in the literature. For example, see the poems, um, how poems are written by the poets. Okay, see, language of poetry, language of Shakespeare, language of from your country also. I'm not just talking about the English literature, but from your country's language also. If somebody is writing poems, so he will write in a very very creative way. See, there will be different words what we use in our day-to-day communication. Okay, and the literary language, literary words will be there in that literature, particular literature. Again, I'm just highlighting this. The words, the selection of words, selection of sentences will be different in the literature also, because it's a different form of literature, different form of a kind of story we can say. Okay, what we speak with our people, what we use as a language in our day-to-day life, that will be completely different in the literature as well. Getting my point? So literature register whatever, like grammar, the way of writing fiction, the way of writing stories, the way of writing plays, poetry, everything will be differently than the regular language. So this is called that this all we called uh, these are all we call, like register of language. So we can language register, we can say. Okay, so you have to understand it. Okay, in every field we have different language and different words. Then branches of linguistics. Okay, as we are just uh, making the combination, making a balance between translation and language. Okay, so that's why we are just having these all the elements and all the information related to language also, to have a good concrete idea about translation, to use the concepts, these all concepts in the translation at the time of translation. Understand my point? So we have to understand these branches of linguistics also. Okay, so these are the major branches. Here we have on the screen: phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantics. Branches of linguistics. Now what is phonology? Phonology is the branch of linguistics that deals with systems of sounds, including or excluding phonetics, within a language or between different languages. I have given here example: the sound system of language. Okay, how to pronounce, okay, how to have a pronunciation of a particular word. Okay, some words will not be there in all the languages. Okay, some words or some sounds, some vowels, some diphthongs will not be there in each language, because every language is different than each other. English is different than Hindi. Hindi is different than your language. Okay, the German is different than Spanish. Spanish is different than other language. Japanese is different than Korean, Chinese, whatever languages. So every language has its own sound system. Okay, sound system, how to pronounce a particular word. Okay, so that words, that pronunciation gives a particular kind of, a certain kind of meaning to the word. Okay, so we have here these the example: pa, ba, ta, da, ka, ga, cha, ja, ja, na, ta, ta, da, da. Whatever words, pa, ba, ta, da. Take these only four examples. See, this is from English. Okay, these are the consonants: pa, ba, ta, da. Understand? So see, the sounds we have here in English is different than, may different than your country. You may have different sounds, but again, you also have a sound system of that language. There are some rules, there are some regulations how to use our teeth, tongue, teeth ridge, mouth, lips to pronounce a particular word, particular sound. So that this all comes into phonology, phonetics. Understand? So without understanding these phonetics, the creation of word, the pronunciation of a particular sounds, words, sentences, we cannot go ahead in the translation, because most of the time sounds also create a particular creates meaning of a particular word. Understand? So phonology, we study in this all things related to the sound system, these vowels, the consonants, the diphthongs, then phrasal verbs, stresses, tones. Okay, falling tone, rising tone, whatever we have. Okay, the tones, accent, very importantly, and the manner of pronunciation. with the use of your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, your lips, your like teeth ridge, okay, nasal, vocals, whatever. These are the parts of your mouth, the speech organ parts, okay, which create sounds of for different words, pronounce some kind of different words. Okay, so vowels, diphthongs, consonants, everything we study, everything we the sounds we study in the phonology. Then we have morphology. Morphology, what is morphology? Morphology in linguistics. Morphology may have a different answer, different meaning in different subjects also. If you see the morphology in physics and some other subjects, so you may find different word, different meaning. But in linguistics, what is it? Morphology is the study of words, how they are formed, and their relationships or relationship to other words in the same language. Okay, simply this, nothing apart from only the formation of words. Okay, how a particular word is being created. Understand? See, for example, the word manage. Okay, so there is a rule. If you want to make it noun, we can use some other sounds or alphabets to manage. You can see add ment, then word will create like meaning like this, management. So word will be like this, management. Similarly, a basic word is there, and morphology can add some things in the word like prefixes and suffixes. It can add, and then the meaning of that word creates differently. So morphology basically is all about the formation of word, that is morphology. So with the help of prefixes, suffixes, some of the words like ed, ion, tion, or ly, like whatever words we have, basic words, with the using of some of the rules and regulations of grammar and morphology, we create new words with adding some of the alphabets to the basic words. This is morphology. Then we have this syntax. Okay, syntax is, what is syntax? Syntax, the system of rules for the structure of sentence in language. Structure of sentence. Now here sentence, we have to understand the structure of your target language and your source language. Now whatever language you have, the structure of sentence will be, I think, differently in your language. For example, in English, subject plus verb plus object, that will come to this, that will become sentence. Understand? Subject plus verb plus object. Understand the structure of sentence? Subject plus verb plus object. This is the basic structure of any language. Okay, I'm sorry, in English, but you may have a different structure in your language. Okay, that will be as per your grammar, as per the rules of your, the rule grammar rules of your language. Okay, similarly, in Hindi language also, we cannot follow English structure, we cannot follow German structure of sentences. Okay, the structure of every language has differently, and syntax is the branch in which we study the structure of sentence in language. Okay, in your language you will be having a different structure. The last part is semantics, the study of the meaning of words and phrases. Okay, meanings related or toward the word, to the words, these all will we study in the semantics. See this, semantics, syntax, and morphology, phonology will be having the in the many lessons also in the forthcoming sessions. Okay, so I just giving here an overview, an idea, an overview of what we call for this particular thing. If you already have you have done with this MA English, so you may know these all. But if you have not done this anything, so you will, this will be a new information for this. And of course, absolutely, this will be very much beneficial for your translation studies. Okay, we are also having the examples and many things in deep in the next sessions also, but you should have a very general idea about these branches of linguistics and everything here on the on the very on the in a very simple way or a very simple manner. Okay, so for the translation, these all are very much important. Linguistics, branches, fields, registers, everything is important if you want to do a, you if you want to become a good translator, a professional translator, I would say. You have to have these the good knowledge about your target language and good knowledge about the source language. Okay, so you may have a question like, okay sir, I can speak very well in English, and I know some of the rules of the English, and of course I have a good knowledge about my mother tongue, my national language, whatever I have, and even I have some of the knowledge of that language also, the grammar and elements of language. So you may feel like this, I can be a good translation. Of course you will be, but as I said yesterday as well, you have to understand some of the technical issues, technical things, the technical some of the issues, elements we can say. Okay, then only you will be a perfect translator, I would say. Okay, but if you don't understand anything, that you are just translating with the help of Google Translation or with the help of some of the softwares, translation will not work. The meaning of that original text you will not deliver in the translation 100%. So like 50-50 chances will be there, you will translate it, but the effect, the meaning, the emotions will not be able to translate if you have only a surface level kind of knowledge, a very enough knowledge, a very little knowledge about those target language and source languages. Understand my point? So we have to understand the languages basically, and then we can move on to a good translate to be a good translator. Okay, these all things you have to have in your practical. Okay, when next time you understand it, next time if you are doing a freelance translator job, so you see that whatever translation task is coming to you, whatever the text is coming to you for the translation, understand this first. Understand the form, understand the field of language, understand the registered, the selection of word, you have to do it. Okay, then you will believe that task, that translation task will be very effectively, and you will be satisfied with your work. Oh, I have done it with a very concrete evidences and with a very concrete knowledge, we can say. Okay, don't try to attempt a very surface level kind of translation. Okay, so but you have to focus on the some of the elements like this, some of the technical elements like this, language and linguistics, fields, registers, whatever we have this all there all here. Understand my point? I hope you have this, like you have received some of the information about linguistics, the linguistics, what we call language, what are the characteristics of language. Okay, the arbitrariness, creativeness, okay, imagination, and everything. Then we studied this. You will remember. I hope this you will remember like this, like yesterday. What I have taught you remember very well the important points. Similarly, you will remember these also, the component of languages or components of language, and then theories of different theories of language, how it has been emerged. Then fields, how language is used, the same language is used in a different field. Okay, then different words, when we say registers, different words from the same language, which are used in the different registers or different sectors, we can say, like advertisement, marketing, and journalism, office, etc. Then literature translation, sorry, register also was a part, and then the last part was the basic things, the branches of linguistics that you should know what we are studying here. Okay, the meaning, syntax, sentences, phonology, everything. Some part of the from these the branches, these the levels of linguistics. We are going to cover with the examples in the uh, some of the few forthcoming what is it that sessions, right? I think we'll stop here for today. For my presentation, I'll stop, but we'll move on to the question answers. Let's see if you have any questions. So the floor is open for you.
Yes, sir. Wonderful presentation. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
you.
More interestingly, the registers of language, that part
Yeah,
is more attractive to me.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I believe students should be in a position to present the registers or the poetic language of their own language and
Yeah.
explain with English and what is the difference, how they have noticed. This will be
Mhm.
very interesting if they are interested to do so.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, Koniba. Yes, you can ask question. Let me ask you
Yeah.
first. Did you understand how we should use language in the translation? See, translation is not just a task that get one text, get something in the one language, and with the help of Google Translation and something like that, you translate it. Do you understand from this that registers and whatever fields and language linguistic elements are very important in the translation? Do you believe that? Okay, go ahead with your question, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question and a comment.
Hmm.
First, the comment. I am in internship at a center of
Hmm.
translation.
Okay.
Sometimes we use software to translate our documents. But if it is a simple document like a certificate or transcript, some easiest document, we do translate those translations by our own. But if it is more than 150, like too much pages, we use software translation. But
Hmm.
we also we also come and review the translation. I think
Yes.
we cannot leave software translation because we are we cannot let down translation by software or Google or something like that.
Okay.
Because when the word is too much, we have to use those software, those websites. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. All right. I would like to mention here one thing, Koniba. See, if you want to translate 200 pages and 300 pages, and when you feel like, I cannot read between the lines, okay, line by line, it's not possible to read it, okay. For that reason, you can use technology, and I would suggest you, I'll suggest you that, you are free to use technology in the translation, okay, technology like Google Translation, any softwares, anything like whether it is 200 pages book, or whether it is only 10 pages or 20 pages. Absolutely fine, Koniba. You can use it. Technology you can use. It will save your time. But the point comes here: technology cannot translate everything. See, for example, you are translating one novel. Okay, that novel is has written in Hindi first. Okay, the original language, the source language is Hindi, and then you need to translate it into English
Sir,
or
excuse me, I don't hear very well.
sorry, sorry, Koniba, you are saying something. Okay, I think voice is not going to you. Let's All right. So what I was telling you that you can use Google Translation or some of the softwares or some of the websites, free websites also. This will save your time, but the actual part, punctuations. some of the regional words, some of the dialectical sentences, slang words, some of the phrasal verbs, idioms that cannot be translated by machine, then that cannot be translated by Google Translation. So you can save your time, you can translate it whole book, okay, and you can just go through line by line wherever you need the exact translation words or sentences, okay. You can take the help of technology, no matter, it's absolutely fine, that's absolutely fine to using technology in the translation. But I'm telling you again, some things machines and technology cannot translate, and that's why we are learning some of the elements where we cannot where we can find some of the solutions of the problems, understand. So you can use translation websites, technology, whatever you want, but remember this, some of the parts you cannot translate as it is, and for that you have to go through on your own.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
Yeah, it's okay, sir. Thank you.
yeah, yeah,
And
welcome.
my next question is source and tongue language the same thing?
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well,
We will close
Kiraga,
here.
yeah, shall we close?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For today, we will close.
All right. Okay. I hope that you don't have question. If you still you have question, you are just left the session on, and you are doing something. Okay. Still, we are closing the session. But you, if you have questions, so today, sorry, tomorrow again we will be having another session. So at the beginning, in the recap also, we can you can ask questions, or we can have the recap and drilling of the what we have done today. Understand? So we'll be resuming this session tomorrow as per the schedule time, and we'll stop here for today. Thank you so